What's up, Guardians? Profane here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we're checking out a one-of-a-kind new weapon that's a must-have for all players. The Mint Retrograde is a new legendary weapon that's been introduced into Destiny, and you can obtain it by running Pinnacle Ops activities through the portal. This is unlike any other pulse rifle in Destiny, as it features a rocket-assisted frame. This is a frame type that many players will recognize from weapons like the Cult, Tenacious Mastery, and Aberrant Action. So while this might be labeled as a pulse rifle, it's more of a hybrid between a linear fusion rifle and a rocket sidearm, and because of that, it does take special ammo. So you should treat this as an energy weapon, not a primary weapon with unlimited ammo. This is by far the most powerful pulse rifle in Destiny, putting up damage numbers that rival heavy weapons, and there's quite a few standout perk combinations that this offers, making it a viable option for damage, for ad clear, and even champion duties, especially since pulse rifles get the nod to barrier champs this season. So we're going to be taking a look at what traits you need to be on the lookout for when farming this incredible new weapon. This has a rate of fire of 200 rounds per minute, and it fires off in a 3-round burst. Even though it shoots out projectiles, you are able to land precision hits with this weapon, but landing precision hits will get increasingly more difficult the further out you get, especially because of the recoil that's created from each burst. But on the bright side, there seems to be absolutely no damage fall off with this weapon, as it maintains the same amount of damage from point blank range as it does from 70 meters out. The first projectile deals slightly more damage, registering in at around 340 points of damage, with the other two projectiles coming in at around 250 points. There's not a lot of magnetism to this weapon's targeting, which can make it a bit more difficult to stay locked on to further away enemies, but just about anything that this weapon's projectiles come into contact with is going to be obliterated, and I really enjoy the smooth performance and accuracy that this has when firing from the hip. The biggest drawback of running this weapon is its ammo capacity. At its base, you get 19 rounds between the magazine and reserves, and you can run through a lot of ammo really quick, but with how the new system works, creating ammo for yourself can be pretty difficult, unless you fully devote your character stats towards weapons, so in most situations you're going to need to conserve your ammo for when you really need it. In this new system, weapons come with tier levels. The higher the tier, the better the weapon, and by having a tier 5 version of the Mint Retrograde, you would have 3 options between your 3rd and 4th column traits. Those traits would be enhanced, and you'll get a spiffy holofoil ornament, but odds are you won't see a tier 5 version of this weapon until you reach the 400 power range. This weapon offers 2 different origin traits. Problem Solver would exhaust enemies on sustained damage, which would reduce their damage output by 40%, but that only counts when used against mini-bosses, champions, and other high-value enemies. And with Vanguard Determination, we'll gain bonus damage resistance on final blows that are made after using our class ability, which I think is a much better option for general gameplay. With that said, let's talk about the other perks that you'll want to run with this weapon. When it comes to barrel options, I think a lot of players will be drawn towards Volatile Launch, and for good reason, as this increases blast radius by 15 points, and it only reduces our velocity by 5 points. This weapon's magazine capacity is 6, but with backup mag, that's going to jump to 7. We could extend that to 8 with appended mag, but I'd much rather have extra damage out of each projectile, so high explosive ordnance will be a better option, giving us 10 points of extra blast radius and 5 points of velocity. In the 3rd column, we have options of rewind rounds, beacon rounds, hatchlings, envious arsenal, stats for all, and recycled energy, which still doesn't seem to work right. We've got chain reaction, master of arms, bait and switch, one for all, slice, and elemental honing as 4th column options. With how fast this weapon unloads ammo, I think rewind rounds is ultimately the best 3rd column trait. Players who have a difficult time staying on target would find a lot of benefit out of beacon rounds, and hatchlings would make a great option to synergize with strand effects, but rewind rounds would mitigate the need to reload, allowing us to maintain sustained damage. One for all would give us the best overall damage bonus, providing us with 35% increased damage once we've hit 3 targets, but chain reaction would be an excellent ad clear option, as final blows will create a strand explosion that will inflict an extra 67 points of base damage to any nearby enemy. Personally, I find Slice to be one of the more beneficial 4th column traits. We're incentivized to use our class ability anyways, and by adding Slice into our setup, we'll be able to apply a strand debuff that neuters our enemy's damage output by 40%, and that would go great with the Facet of Courage Prismatic Fragment. but if you're able to sever enemies through another means, then One for All is by far the better option for increased damage. One of the most powerful setups that this weapon fits into right now is a Titan build featuring the hazardous propulsion. This exotic chest piece provides as much as a 35% bonus in damage, which is granted to weapons that use rockets, which include all rocket sidearms, and the Mint Retrograde. It even plays into the use of our class ability, which aligns perfectly with Vanguard Determination. But even if you're not a Titan, the Mint Retrograde will be an incredible new weapon that you'll need to add to your arsenal. So if you haven't gotten this bad boy yet, then you need to start hitting up those pinnacle ops. That's going to bring us to an end of today's video, but I'd love to hear your thoughts about the Mint Retrograde and what traits you've enjoyed using on it. Let us know down in the comments. Thank you as always for checking out the video. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated and both really do help support the channel. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.